Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to do my review for Wandavision episode 3, now in color. And that's right, because if you've seen the last episode of Wandavision, episode 2, it ended with things going from black and white to color. And hopefully the younger generation of kids out there will be able to handle 2 episodes of black and white. This has been a really fun series so far. I really did love last week's first two episodes. And now transitioning into this episode was really cool. It's like every episode is revealing something more each time, and this is definitely by far the best episode so far. And I don't even think it's the best that they have yet, because I think this season is just going to continue to grow until the very end. So let's get right into it. In the beginning of this episode, we get a new opening, a new theme song. That's some of the fun things about these 3 episodes so far, is that whenever they enter a new decade, we get a new theme song to go with it. So the 50s, 60s, and now we're in the 70s. So an all new theme song to fit that decade. And some people were saying it was a little bit like the Brady Bunch, a little bit. I don't know too many shows from the 70s, but the Brady Bunch is one that I'm aware of, but I never really watched much to really get that type of a feel from it. So I don't know what other shows from the 70s it might have gotten inspiration from, but either way, it was an episode that I really enjoyed. So the episode itself starts off with a doctor checking in on Wanda and Vision and the progress of Wanda's pregnancy that we got in the last episode. And apparently it's been 12 hours since Wanda and Vision figure that out, but she's already about 4 months pregnant, according to the doctor. And according to him, it could continue to grow. According to Vision and Wanda, their theory is that eventually, maybe by Friday, Wanda could probably have these kids, considering how fast she's already grown. But it seems like throughout the episode, she grows faster and faster by the minute. So Vision and Wanda decide to go and create the baby's room. And she puts a painting of Stork on the wall, and they decide, hey, what are we gonna name this kid if this kid comes? And Wanda chooses the name Tommy, and Vision chooses Billy. And I'm thinking to myself, well, what about Zach, Jason, Trini, and Kimberly? Okay, I know that's probably not. Anyways, just a little cheesy joke from me. So they don't really decide at that moment. They said, oh, what? Maybe if it's a girl, we can't choose either of those names, and then we'll have to choose something else. But anyways, they predict it's going to be a boy. So then something starts happening. Wanda starts getting a little bit bigger, and Vision starts to notice, and Vision goes outside at one point, and he sees Herb outside, one of the new characters that we saw in the previous episode, and he's like cutting the bushes and stuff as he's walking the doctor out. I think that was during that scene, right? I've seen the episode early this morning, so some of it is a little bit fuzzy, so bear with me, guys. But when he walks the doctor out, I think he sees Herb. Like he's no longer just cutting the bushes; he's cutting the fence, the brick wall fence, and he's like, "Herb, is everything okay?" And Herb's like, "Yeah, everything's good," with an awkward smile on his face. Okay, well, he goes back inside, and then that's when I think the baby stuff starts to happen, right? So eventually, the Wanda starts experiencing, when some pain, extractions. I think that's the right word. Vision helps her with the breathing techniques, and some of that is pretty funny throughout the episode, I thought. I think this was probably one of the episodes with the funniest stuff happening, because there was one joke in particular where when Wanda is getting extractions, things start flickering, right? The lights start flickering and all that, and they show the rest of the neighbor or one of the neighbors having that effect too, where the lights turn off, but before the lights turn off, the wife asks, "Hey, do you think I look fat with this on?" And as he's starting to turn to look, the husband, the lights turn off, and he's like, "Oh, thank goodness." To me, that was the funniest joke in the episode. I loved it. There were some other funny lines also throughout, but to me, that one was the funniest one. So things are going crazy in the house, like flickering and things are spinning and stuff like that. And I'm gonna be honest, and maybe this is a little bit of something, a clue to who the villain could be. I really did think like this is kind of making me think like is Wanda like it's like a demon haunting the house. That was the thing that kind of made me think. And a lot of people have been theorizing already about Mephisto, and I think I talked about it in the last review, where Mephisto is like the devil of the Marvel universe in the comics, and a lot of people believe that he could be the villain that they're setting up for WandaVision, manipulating the whole situation, right? And because a lot of people also believe he'll be the villain in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Well, it did dawn on me afterwards, like, this looks like an exorcism is happening or something like that, but in a light, funny way. And so Vision, the sprinklers go out and in the house, and Vision decides to go call the doctor because Wanda's like, my water broke. So Vision rushes to the doctor, grabs him before he can, because he says earlier on he's going on vacation. And while that's happening, Wanda gets everything under control. And what's her name? I'm going to call her Monica Rambeau, but her name is Geraldine, I think what they're calling her right now. Geraldine, yeah. Geraldine comes in and asks, but we know that I don't know why they spoiled that for us, because it seems like that was supposed to be a secret, but for some reason before the show even came on, they announced that Monica Rambeau would be a main character in the show. But it looks like, yeah, when she comes to the house and sees everything's okay, Wanda starts, getting pain again, and Geraldine decides to help her out and realizes, okay, you're having this baby, we gotta take this out. But before that, because I almost forgot, apparently Wanda hears something in the baby's room, and before she can see it, when Geraldine comes and sits and talks about her story, the stork that was a painting comes out of the room, and Wanda's like freaking out. And I've heard a theory already about this stork. A lot of people presume that stork could be Mephisto in disguise, because when Wanda tried making it disappear, a puff of red smoke comes up, and you think that, okay, the stork's gonna disappear now, but the stork does not disappear. For some reason, Wanda's magic is not working on it. And even I was like curious, like, what the heck is going on? Why can't she make it disappear? She's clearly trying to make it leave, and she tries twice, I think. And the bird is just like wants to poke at Geraldine and all that, and eventually Wanda scares off the bird when the bird's about to like poke or bite on Geraldine's pants, right? Because it has fish on it. And at first you think, okay, this is a funny little moment. But then when I heard the theory, because I don't think we got a resolution on that stork situation, right? So what happened to the stork? I don't remember that being resolved. The last time we saw it was it went back to the room, it posed with the picture, and then that was like the end of it, right? So we still didn't even get a resolution on the stork situation. So I'm wondering if that's going to come back next week now, and we're gonna have to see what happens there. So that's when Wanda starts getting contractions again. It's contractions. I was saying extractions, contractions. She starts getting contractions again, and that's it. The baby has to come out. Geraldine puts her on the floor and says, "Okay, you gotta push because this thing is coming out whether you like it or not." So, Vision is at the doctor's house. He brings the doctor all the way back. By that point, Wanda already has her first child. Geraldine was able to bring the child out. It's a boy. And Vision, as soon as he comes, they're both happy. They're both excited. The doctor and Wanda, or not Wanda, Monica or Geraldine go to the kitchen, give Wanda and Vision some privacy. And that's when Vision turns on his normal face, and because Wanda says, "Why don't you look at this child with your own face?" And that so Vision turns into his regular face for a little bit and decides to look and names the boy Tommy, which is the name that Wanda wanted. And then what happens? Well, apparently contractions start happening again, and Wanda's having another baby. Things go crazy for a little bit, and then we come back, and it looks like twins. They have twins, and of course, they're going to call the second boy Billy. So now both of them get to have the names that they really wanted, which makes you wonder: did Wanda just have another baby purposely to? I think all of this is done purposely, by the way, to I don't know if by Wanda exactly, but I think she's somehow part of it, and I'll get to my reasonings why. So anyways, yes, they have two twins. Vision decides to walk the doctor out while Geraldine and Wanda, take care of the babies and have fun with them. So as he's walking out, the doctor makes a little comment, like, yeah, I'm going on vacation, obviously, blah, blah, blah. Or at least as far as I can, what little of this town there is. And Vision's like, what? And yeah, we're kind of trapped. Or he doesn't say that exactly, but that's kind of what he was hinting at, right? So as the doctor leaves, he sees Herb and Agnes talking again. Now, last week I thought Agnes could be the villain of the story, and this morning after I watched the episode, I was thinking maybe she's not, because this scene right here kind of throws you off. But I just rewatched the episode again, and I noticed not too long ago, and I noticed something this time around. And so they're talking, Agnes and Herb. Obviously the stone is, or the brick fence is cut, and they talk to or Vision talks to them a little bit because he notices something's off with these two. And Herb starts saying something, or no, Agnes starts saying, "Hey, is Geraldine still in the house? She's new here. She has no family. She has no husband. She has no home. Home is the one that they really laid thick on." And that conversation is going on inside the house, Wanda and Geraldine start having this conversation about the twins and or about the babies. It starts off as a nice little conversation at first, but then Wanda's reminded of her brother Pietro, and that Pietro, she once had a twin too, and but he died a long time ago, and that sets off Geraldine, where she says Pietro, he was killed by Ultron, right? And that sets off Wanda. It's like something clicked inside of her and is like, what did you say? And like, she is pissed now because she mentioned Ultron, and she talked about her brother. But it's like it's like Geraldine wasn't supposed to know that. And no one in that world should be talking about things that happened on the outside world. And when I say outside world, it's because when things start getting really dramatic, you notice the laugh track starts. There's no laughter during the heavy dramatic scenes that happen in these 3 episodes. And Wanda starts getting upset enough where she eventually does something to Geraldine that we see after a little bit after. She gets kicked out, let's just say. We get back to Vision and his conversation with the neighbors, Agnes and Herb. And Agnes leaves, even though she tells Herb not to say anything. Herb is about to spill the beans. And he's like, we're kind of, he's being very vague and he's sketchy on what he's trying to say. But my first thought was that he was going to say we're all dead. But then someone told me, remember in the trailers, Agnes tells him, we're not dead, but you are. And I'm like, oh man, that was in the trailer. That's such a huge spoiler. That means they're trapped and they're not dead. Vision is dead, but the rest of them are not dead and they're being forced against their wills. And I kind of wish they didn't put that in the trailer after someone told me on YouTube, on another YouTube channel. I was like, oh man, that's a spoiler. But it's okay because there's still a lot of mystery left. Now, Agnes, I still think could still be part of this whole situation because she was trying to keep Herb quiet. And at first glance, I thought to myself, well, yeah, maybe because she's part of this too. Like she's trapped in all of this too and she just doesn't want to get into trouble. But the way I noticed the second time, the way she was going about it seemed a little bit like she wanted this to keep quiet. Like she didn't want this to change as well. Maybe I was looking too much into it, but that's the impression I got. Like she wanted to keep it quiet for different reasons, and it seemed like she was trying to convince Herb to keep it quiet, but in her own schemey kind of ways. Maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but that's the way I viewed it the second time. So we'll see. I still think Agnes could still be part of this somehow. We'll see. But definitely she is working for someone bigger. Whether it's Wanda herself, because Wanda went to the dark side in this episode, I'm telling you now. Or whether it's with Mephisto, who could be manipulating Wanda, because we have to know what happened to that stork. We'll see. I mean, there's still a lot of unanswered questions. But there's still some that are being revealed, so that's good. Because by the end of this episode, Vision goes back inside. Hey, is everything okay? Wanda's like, yeah, everything's okay. Don't worry. Geraldine, she left. She went home, even though we were told she has no home. And then we see Geraldine getting thrown out of this portal from an outside, from Westview, which was the name of the town. And it looks like some helicopters and police or whatever are coming. We can presume that's S.W.O.R.D. because she even had the S.W.O.R.D. logo on her necklace, which Wanda recognized because she saw the helicopter with the S.W.O.R.D. logo in the previous episode. So a lot of things are starting to be revealed now. And then that's the end of the episode. That's how it ends. There was another thing earlier on that I forgot to mention. Earlier on in the episode, very early in the beginning, Vision starts asking himself after seeing Herb cutting the brick fence, right? He starts mentioning it to Wanda that something is off. And as he's talking about this, all of a sudden it goes back. Like they didn't even do the rewind effect that they did last week when they saw the B-Man coming out of the sewer. This one, nope, this didn't happen. It was like a deleted scene. They showed us the deleted scene and then said, no, this is the right one. I thought that was pretty interesting the way they did that. That's just something I wanted to mention, that Wanda's clearly does not want Vision to find out what's going on. She seems like she's somewhat in control. I can't say that she's not being manipulated or not, because the way this episode made us think, or made me think, was that Wanda is in complete control and knows what she's doing, and seems like she just snapped and is just trying to control this place in what she wants it to be. But then that would put her in a bad light. And there were some theories before WandaVision came out, I remember, of some people speculating that this could be setting up Wanda to be the villain in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's looking that way, but I don't think it's going to end up that way. I think they are going to resolve this by the end of the season. I think Doctor Strange is going to help Wanda with something, but I don't think she's going to be the villain in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I think she's going to have to help Doctor Strange with who the real villain is going to turn out to be. Again, this is all theorizing. This is not confirmed, obviously, or anything like that. So this is just how I think everything's going to play out, with playing around with theories that I've known about or that I've heard about or that I'm thinking of. So it's a mix of a lot of things of how I'm adding this all up. So we'll see. I mean, like, we got 6 more episodes left. We already went through 3. I can't wait to see next week's episode because the critics didn't have to give us any hints. Some critics were like hinting at what happens in episode 3, but they were revealing that more things are revealed in this one, which clearly a lot was. I think we're going to see a lot more. I think next week we'll reveal that Geraldine is actually Monica Rambeau, and I think that's when we'll see Kat Dennings as Darcy from the Thor movies, and we'll see Randall Park as Agent Wu from the Ant-Man and the Wasp, because we know both of them are supposed to be in this. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait to see how everything's going to unfold. So far, 3 episodes in has been really awesome. And Marvel TV, man, it's starting to kick ass. There was a time where I thought DC TV was some of the best superhero stuff out there, but Marvel TV is starting to step up their game, and I'm really excited about it. So with that being said, guys, leave down your theories and thoughts in the comments section below. Please like this video if you can, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, take care.